Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about touch-up. So of course, as you can see, I've got a really nice carbon fiber piece, but we've got a few touch-ups that we need to go ahead and fix to make everything look the best. Now, in a situation like this, we would probably go ahead and just redo the entire thing. But because we wanted to shoot a quick little video, so we figured we'd go ahead and show you guys a few things on the touch-ups, especially on the carbon fiber, that might help you out, so that way you can get an edge to make sure that your carbon fiber looks the best whenever it's touched up. So let's get started. So whenever you're looking at a part like this, we've got a couple of different things. We've got one right here that's all in the black. We've got one right here that's partially in the black and then partially in the lighter area, which is going to be a lot harder to touch up. And then we've got a couple right through here that we're going to have to touch up that's going to be both in the darker area and the lighter area. So let's go ahead and try to focus on these right here, show you guys a few things on touching them up and what we normally like to do to touch them up the best. So one thing that I do like to have whenever I'm redoing the carbon fiber is, of course, making a template. And so you can see I've got a piece of tape that goes across here. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it into just little sections, just like this. And I want to try to stay as straight as possible whenever I'm cutting these sections. Now, again, they can be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, not really matter. It doesn't really matter too much on that. But what matters is that we're going to take this like that. We could probably throw that one away, but we're going to take this next one and then we're going to pretty much use this as building our own template for what we need to touch up. So in this case right here, let's say that we are touching up this area right here. So what we're actually going to do is you can see that this little square right here fits really nice into that section right there. And then we can take again and get this square right here and let it fit right down into that section right there. Now again, I'm not pushing down very hard on the tape. I'm just mainly just trying to make a template for the carbon fiber. And so again, we'll come in, we'll take and we'll set that down just like so. And as you can see, we are now building a nice little template for the carbon fiber to match up. And so we'll take that, set that down like that. And then now that we've got this, now whenever we go to pull it up, this should match pretty well looking across through there. And so now that we've got that, we can lay that back down and then maybe even go ahead and make another template for the other side. So again, we can take that and set that down like so. And again, and you want to try to straighten these up as best you can just to make sure that everything stays as nice and straight as possible whenever you are laying this down. So definitely take your time. I'm not spending a lot of time on this because, of course, as you can see, we will probably be redoing this, but it is definitely something to keep in mind that as you are doing things like this, you definitely want to try to make sure that it stays within that line and everything like that. Now, what I've got right here is going to be black in this airbrush. Now, this is a very diluted black, so you can see whenever I go to spray this right through here, that as I'm spraying it, it's just barely making a little bit of a difference in the shade. And that's exactly what I want. I do not want a very dark black. I just want a lighter black that's more of a diluted color. And so you can kind of see here, if we keep going and keep going, it does get darker, but of course I'm making it do this now, and now we're getting it a lot darker. So with something like this right here, we're just going to have to layer it in as we go. So if we have that little area right here, I'm just going to lightly pull this trigger back just enough so then that way I can just lightly take and darken that in. And once I've got that area darkened in to the way that I wanted it, now I can move on to the next part. But this may take a little bit longer to do, because it is not going to cover quite as well, but I have a lot more capability on trying to match the black that is on the pattern. And then we can pull this off. We have a very, very close match. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the carbon fiber, it is very, very hard to match it 100%. So it may not look 100% exactly correct, but this definitely takes away from the untrained eye on seeing one little spot right here, and now we can do it just like what we did, and then now everything blends in a lot better. So moving on down into something like this right here, we can see that we've got this, but now it's in the lighter gray area. And so now we're going to try to use our same templates and use them again, just like so, to try to make this look the exact way that we want it. And so with something like this, once I've got that down like that, now doing this on the lighter area is very, very hard, and you got to be very careful in darkening these areas, because you want to try to focus just on the lighter, light gray, light metallic area, mainly because you don't want to darken in the other areas. So this is going to be a very, very hard touch-up, even for someone like me. Now we can pull this back off, and now we can see that we've got it touched up. Now, I will be the first one to say it is definitely not the best. So again, these lighter areas like that, they are very, very hard to touch up. But now we need to focus more on this black area right in here, because we've got that lighter area. So again, we'll take our template that we've made, try to lay that back down on top of that, and then go back again, just like what we've done before, and try to just get that one little area. Now, like I was saying, definitely a lot harder to touch up. It is going to show a little bit more just because we have that lighter area there, and we have the darker area right there. The clear will help hide it a little bit, but again, that's definitely going to be a hard spot to touch up no matter what it is. So you can kind of see how I went a little bit further out, kind of darken this in just a little bit. And again, is this acceptable? Maybe, but definitely looks way better than what it was whenever we first initially started. So if it's something, say, on a corner or on an edge or something like that, you can probably get away with it. But if that piece is right in the middle of the part or something like that, then of course it might be something to where you probably need to redo that area instead of actually trying to touch it up, especially if it's the carbon fiber like that. Now again, something like that, we're going to do the exact same thing and continue on with going through our template just like that, and then like that as we touch up all through here. So it'd be the exact same way. So as you can see, the touch-ups definitely make the part look a lot better. Now, am I saying that it looks 100% to where I want to send it out the door? Maybe not on some of these areas, but again, with something like this, we're probably going to end up redoing it, but we wanted to shoot a quick little video just to show you guys the end result of what it could look like if you had an area to touch up with the carbon fiber. Now, especially with carbon fiber, it is definitely the hardest to touch up out of a lot of the patterns that are out there, mainly because of how it is directional and it has a very unique and defined color tone for all of that to look right. So if it looks off, then of course the touch-up definitely shows. So it definitely takes a lot of time and patience to make sure that you get that just right. So I know this is a short and quick little video, but hopefully this has really helped you guys out on touching up things like this in the carbon fiber. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. We'd always love to hear from you, as well as if you're interested in other videos like this, definitely hit that subscribe button. We'd always love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips on anything hydrographics related. Also, if you're curious about getting into the hydrographics or anything like that, definitely check out the links in the description. It's going to have links to the website that has everything that you need for the hydrographics, whether it be training or paints or film or anything like that. It is all there on the website, so definitely check that out. I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and this is how we customize your world. We'll see you guys next time.